All right, all right, all right. That has never happened to me before on the show, but here we go. Um, yeah, my laptop just decided to power down on its own. Nonetheless, we are back. So, just a real quick recap for those of you who are still with me. Looks like somebody's going to be in the market for a new laptop because I can't be having that in the middle of the show. You just decide that you're just going to power down. So we definitely gonna have to do something about that. Um, but really quick recap: we're talking about 7 keys to keeping your resolution. Again, it's Talk Money in the Morning Live with H. Cortez. Number one is you got to be crystal clear about your resolution. When you're setting resolutions, you got to be crystal clear. That's just part of it, man. You can't set vague resolutions because you're not going to. If you're not specific, then it's hard to measure things that you're not specific about. If I want a bunch of money, how do I measure whether or not I'm getting close to my goal of having a bunch of money, right? But if I say a specific dollar amount, if I want to make 10,000 in my business this year, then I can measure how much I need to be making per month. Even scale that down and reverse engineer it back to how much I need to be making per day, how much I need to be making per hour, per second, or whatever. So you have to be specific and crystal clear in your goals. If you're just hopping on, go ahead and type in the chat where you're from and also the name of your brand if you're building a brand or building a business. And like I say each and every morning, man, if you're not building a brand and you're calling yourself building a business, you're not building a sustainable business. You have to be building a brand, man, so that it's the brand that stands the test of time. Products and services change, they come and they go. Business models change, but the brand is what stands the true test of time. Number two, you can't measure what you don't track. So when you're setting your resolutions for 2018, make sure you build in your tracking mechanism. How are you going to track and chart your success? You can't measure what you don't track. So make sure that you're planning to chart your success along the way. And that's going to keep you on track. And not so much for the goals that you don't hit or that you fall short. A lot of times we set resolutions and we actually meet them mid-year, but because we don't have a way to track that, we just keep on going at the same old thing, and we've already met that resolution and never recalibrated or adjusted or set a new goal to finish out the year with. Sometimes we get really close to a goal, but because we didn't track it properly, we didn't see that, hey, I was really close. I was 90% at this goal after 4 months in April. I should have just focused on banging out that other 10%, set a new goal, and kept it moving. But we'll float around at 90% completion for the rest of the year because we don't track, right? Number three, in order to meet your goals, you're going to have to use what I call the 5 P's, right? The 5 P's of any process or of success at anything. You're going to absolutely have to be persistent. You're going to have some perseverance. You're going to have some patience. You're going to have to give yourself permission to fail. And then, above all, you're going to have to stop flipping procrastinating, man. So, those are the 5 P's of success in anything. Number one, you have to be persistent, right? This show, the laptop just shut down in the middle of the show. The stream wouldn't cooperate with me early on. I couldn't get a good connection. So I had to persist through and keep going and make this thing work, man. It's just, it is what it is. And sometimes you have those kinds of snafus when you're reaching for your New Year's resolution. You're going to have some things that try to keep you out of the loop, and you're going to have to persist and keep pressing through those things. You're going to definitely have to persevere. What is perseverance? Perseverance is so persistence is keeping moving when you see those obstacles in your way and you don't let them rattle you, you keep going. Well, what's the difference between persistence and perseverance? In my opinion, perseverance is the response after you get knocked down. See, persistence is you moving forward when things are trying to knock you down, right? That's persistence. You moving forward when things are trying to knock you down. Perseverance is, on the other hand, is what do you do after you find yourself on the canvas? I guarantee you, you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to get knocked down as you're reaching for your goals. The response that you have during this time is going to make all the difference in the world. How do you respond after getting knocked down? You're going to have to persevere in 2018 if you're going to hit your goals. So you got persistence, you got perseverance. Patience is something that we seem to lack overall in this microwave generation, this microwave society. We want everything instantaneously. We want to see results right now, and we don't understand exercising patience. You're going to have some patience, y'all, when it comes to going after your resolutions for 2018. So understand that everything is not going to happen right away. I like to look at my success like microwave popcorn, right? If you ever watched a bag of microwave popcorn pop in the microwave, then you know that the first 2 minutes you don't get nothing besides a nice fizzle and a little bit of crackling. It's the last minute that everything starts to happen. So sometimes if we don't get anything going on in the first quarter of the year, second quarter of the year, then we tend to give up. We don't exercise enough patience, right? Sometimes all of the effort that you put in the first 3 quarters of the year don't compound into the fourth quarter and you start seeing mega success. But what happens when you open up the microwave midway through because you don't think anything is happening? You actually hurt your chances of getting your popcorn popped. Well, a lot of times, because we don't understand patience and how compounding effort happens, we open up the microwave door on our resolutions midway through the process, and we kill any momentum that we had that would have allowed us to get to the dreams and goals that we had set for ourselves. So allow yourself to be patient with your goals and understanding that there's a compound effect to all of your efforts. If you're doing your activities every day, you're sowing your seeds. And this is not to say that you don't course correct along the way, but if you're putting forth the effort, you're doing the actions, then allow those actions to compound over time. Be patient, and you will ultimately see the results that you're looking for. Number four, P number four, is you have to give yourself permission to fail. A lot of us are setting resolutions to accomplish some things that we've never ever tried before. We got resolutions on the books that we're setting for 2018 to do some things that we have never ever tried before, and all of a sudden we think just right out of the gate we're gonna have uber success. Doesn't work like that, guys. Give yourself permission to fail. In other words, don't beat yourself up too bad if you fall short of your goal. Don't beat yourself up too bad if you fall short of your goal. Course correct, recalibrate, get right back on the proverbial horse, as they say, and make things happen. Don't beat yourself up. So many of us will fall short of a goal, of something that we're trying to accomplish that we have no experience in, but all of a sudden, when we don't meet this goal, we're down on our luck. We're beating ourselves up. We're in a dump. We instantly start having a pity party. It's like, well, what you expect? This is your first time out. And then we have the tendency to want to compare ourselves, being very new, our first time out. We're comparing ourselves to something or some sort of expert or something to that effect. I'm like, no. If this is your first time trying something, give yourself permission to fail, right? And P number five, if you're going to have success at closing out your resolutions, you're going to have to stop procrastinating. A lot of us believe that a year is a long time. As a result, we will say, I got this New Year's resolution. I have this goal set for myself in 2018, but you don't start January 1st because you're saying, hey, I got time. I got a whole year to get this done. And that's what we're saying over and over and over again. And some of us are at the end of 2017 are still procrastinating about what we said we was going to do in 2017, and now we've pushed it ahead to 2018 because we procrastinated all year long. So if you're going to have success in reaching your resolutions for 2018, you have to incorporate the 5 P's. It's going to take some persistence. You're going to have to push through when things get in your way. You're going to have some perseverance. You're going to have to learn how to pick yourself up off the canvas because life is going to knock you down in 2018. The question is, how do you respond after getting knocked down? Do you have it in you to persevere and overcome? Then you're going to have some patience, man. Success isn't built in a day, but it is built daily. Success isn't built in a day, but it is built daily, right? What are the things that you do every single day that when those efforts compound, you're going to look back over your life and say, hey, man, I didn't do a single great thing. I didn't do one thing that was just astronomically huge, but what I did do was a consistent series of little small things that, when added together, made a great life. Got to have patience. Then you're going to have to give yourself permission to fail. It's okay to miss the mark. It's not okay to quit because you missed the mark. I want you to put in the chat, it's okay to miss the mark. It's okay to miss the mark. It's not okay to quit because you missed the mark. So you have to give yourself permission to fail. You miss the mark, you recalibrate, you adjust, you go back to the drawing board, you learn from what caused you to miss the mark in the first place, you make the adjustments, and you get right back in the game, right? We learned yesterday that successful people are where they are in life because they failed more than most. Success is not determined by the absence of failure. Success is determined by the amount of time you failed and kept going, right? As a youth basketball coach, I like to use the analogy of the guy who shoots the ball at a 40% clip versus the guy who can't seem to make a bucket. Well, believe it or not, the guy who's shooting at 40% has actually missed more shots in most cases than the guy who's shooting a poor percentage has ever attempted. The guy who is shooting at a 40% clip has missed way more shots than the guy who can't shoot at all has ever attempted. The reason a guy can't shoot because they don't know how to measure success. They are in practice and they shoot and make a couple baskets and they think they're good. No, the great ones, good players will practice until they get it right. I want you to understand the difference between the good and the great. And I want you to always know that good is the enemy of great. If no one has ever told you that before, good is the enemy of great. And I tell my players all the time, don't stop at getting good, man. Don't. And sometimes you want to beat them down and knock them down a notch and discredit them a little bit because you see them resting in that good place. I've gotten good and now I'm cool with being good. And the moment you get cool with being good, you'll never become great. That's why good is the enemy of great. So the difference between the good ones and the great ones, the good ones will practice until they get it right. But the great ones will practice until they can't get it wrong. That makes sense? The good ones will practice until they get it right. The great ones will practice until they can't get it wrong. How many times have we seen Michael Jordan shoot free throws with his eyes closed and make them? He practiced enough until he can't get it wrong. So give yourself permission to fail, but when you fail, fail often, but fail forward. Learn the lesson from that failure and keep it moving. Learn the lesson from that failure and keep it moving. And last P is you have to understand how to stop procrastinating. You just got to stop procrastinating, man. This is another big one that I deal with, man. I have stuff written on my board right here, and there's some stuff sitting on my board from yesterday that I just said, man, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, right? So 2018, that's one of the things that I'm going to tackle is being more productive. And believe it or not, I am if I compare myself to the wrong people, I'm uber productive. But that's why you can't compare yourself to people. I have to compare myself to what the potential that I have within me. How good could I be if I overcame this procrastination issue that I deal with? Right? Don't compare yourself to somebody else. What we tend to do is we find people who are average, and if we get just a little bit above average and we're comparing our people to people who are below average, then we're looking real good. But you can't do that. So let me recap real quick. Number one, if you're going to hit your resolution in 2018, you first have to be crystal clear about the thing that you resolve to do. Number one, be crystal clear. Number two, you can't measure what you don't track. So make sure as you're setting your goals, you're setting out to, or you're putting in place a mechanism by which you can track your success so you can chart your course, right? Number three, you got to use the 5 P's when it comes to having success at anything, but especially when it comes to hitting your resolutions or keeping your resolutions. Persistence, perseverance, patience, permission to fail, and stop procrastinating. Number four, if you're going to hit your resolutions for 2018, go public. Go public. See, we all have to be held accountable. But one of the reasons that we don't like to tell people about our goals is because we don't want to be held accountable. See, if nobody knows my goals and what I'm trying to accomplish, when I fail, nobody knew in the first place, so I can just skate through. But when I publicize that I'm a billionaire by 2027, people are watching saying, hey, Cortez, you at the end of the year one, man, and you ain't even close. So now I have an accountability team watching me build. Now, I get it that sometimes you just don't want to tell certain people, you don't want to tell haters your mission, you don't want to tell certain, man, to me, forget that. Go public with your resolutions because I need people to doubt me sometimes. I need people to say, man, you crazy sometimes because sometimes that is the motivation, that is the fuel that will make me get off my assets and go produce more assets, if you understand where I'm coming from. So you have to go public with your resolutions. Now, do you have to get on YouTube and Facebook and record videos and tell the world? You don't have to do that. But somebody needs to know what you're trying to accomplish so they can hold you accountable, right? So everybody put in the chat, go public. Whatever it is that you want to do. Now, I'm not saying that you have certain processes and you have proprietary information that you're keeping because it's your company and you don't want someone to steal your idea. And I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you have a resolution, then you should go public with that resolution so that you not only have a handful of people to hold you accountable, you have dozens of people to hold you accountable. I have hundreds of people looking to hold me accountable because I said I'm going to hit a certain goal by January 13th. So a lot of people are watching to see if I'm going to hit it. And it doesn't make me no never mind whether those people are watching to see me fail or whether they're watching to cheer me on. That doesn't matter. I just need you to watch and hold me accountable and ask me every now and then, how close are you, or are you to that goal, brother? Or are you on track? Where are we? Where do we stand? This, that, and that. So that's what you have to go public with your resolutions. Because if nobody knows you're reaching for a goal, then nobody's going to push you. Nobody's going to give you any critiques. Nobody's going to hold you accountable. And we all absolutely need that. Number 5, put it on the calendar. Number 5, put it on the calendar. What do I mean by that? Most of us, if we're willing to admit, have time management issues. Most of us, if we're willing to admit, have time management issues. So my wife for Christmas went out and got me a day planner because I need to start organizing my time a little bit better. See, I've been fighting all my adult life for time freedom. Now that I have it, I have to fight to learn how to manage that time to get the most out of it, right? Not having a job is good on one hand, it could be a blessing and a curse. While I do accomplish a lot in my business, I know I can do a lot more if I get better organized. So the activities that's required of you to hit your resolution in 2018, I want you to start planning those activities. Put them on your calendar. It's very easy to let an entire day get away from you and you've done nothing towards your goal, nothing towards your aspiration, nothing towards that resolution. So sometimes you literally have to schedule those activities in order to make that stuff work. And there's nothing wrong with that. Am I the only one here that got time management problems? Anybody else willing to admit that they could get a little bit more out of their time if they tried? Yeah, I'll admit it, man. I got some time management problems. I could be more productive, which for my competition is scary. For those who don't want to see me succeed, the idea that I could be even more productive is scary because I am quite productive now. But to be more productive, that could be scary for some who don't want to see me succeed, right? But am I the only one who needs to get better at that? So the activities that's going to lead you to your goal, those things that you're going to be measuring day by day, week by week, month by month, put them on your calendar to make sure that you're getting something done towards the accomplishment of your resolution each and every day. Monica says, yes, yes, yes. Trying to juggle everything seems daunting. It could, Monica. So let's be accountability partners and I'm gonna let you in on some of the things that I'm trying to get accomplished. You let me in on some of the things you're trying to get accomplished, and then every week or so we'll just connect and say, hey, how's this thing coming? What have you done? Right? So you need that kind of accountability in your corner to say, you know what, show me a list of your activities and the results from the last month. Right? That's scary for even me to think that, man, somebody could call me to the carpet and say, show me your activities for the last month and the results. But we need that kind of accountability if we're going to manage our time the best that we can. Number 6, step by step, man. Create an actionable game plan to reach your goals. See, we put the goal out there, but then we don't reverse engineer the goal and put a step-by-step game plan to that goal. Right? So for instance, on my wall over there it says 2739.72. $2,739.72. That's the amount of money that I need to make every day in order to have $1 million year in my business. So that is a finite amount, I know the time frame to do that, 365 days. So I can take that dollar amount. If I pulled out my calculator, then I could take that dollar amount and reverse engineer it to how much I need to make per week. Or that's how much I need to make per day. I can reverse engineer it and say, how much do I need to make per hour? How much do I need to make per minute? How much do I need to make per second? Right? So when you set your goal, when you set your resolution for 2018, then I want you to count backwards all of the things that it's going to take for you to get you there. And then say, okay, if I want to have a certain amount of people in my business, or I have a certain amount of sales of a product in my business, then I have to reverse engineer that thing so I can put together a daily game plan. So, for instance, if I want to have 10 people join my business today, my statistics say that in order for me to get one person to join my business, I need to talk to 10. I need to find 10 qualified people to talk to about my business. So, in order for me to get 10 people to join my business today, then I have to talk to 100 qualified people because I have a 10% closing ratio. So, I have to get on my job. So, I said if I have to talk to 100 people now, I know that the way my day shapes up is I'm good until about 4 o'clock today. So I'm looking at about 7 hours. So now I say 100 people, I need to talk to 100 people in 7 hours, right? So now how many people per hour do I need to be reaching out to and talking to? I need to be talking to about 70 people per hour for the next, I mean, not 70, 7 or 8 people per hour for the next 7 hours. That'll get me close to where I want to be. And then after I come back from my son's game, I have another 3 or 4 hours to go. So I need to be talking to that many people per hour. If I wanted to break that down per minute, how many people do I need to be talking to per minute, or whatever the case is? So once you set your goal, then you have to reverse engineer the goal and create an actionable game plan step by step. So at the end of every hour, if I know how many people I need to talk to every hour, then I can measure that because I can say, hey, my goal was to talk to 8 people this hour. I go back and look at my history and say, man, you ain't talked to nothing but 2 people this hour. What did you do with the rest of the hour? Oh man, I was jeffing around. I was building my way. No, that ain't what you said you should be doing today. Right? So you create a step-by-step actionable game plan, right? And then number 7 is you join an accountability group, right? So me and Monica, I didn't get no feedback, Monica. Me and Monica just created an accountability group so that we can manage our time a little bit better, so we can become more productive. So find a group of people who are trying to hit similar goals or trying to really do some things in 2018, and just say, you know what? Let's start being accountable to one another. Here's my game plan. Here's my actionable steps. Here's the amount of people that I need to be talking to every day. Here's what needs to be going on in order for me to hit my goal. Can you and I agree that we're going to hold each other accountable? So at any given point, if that was my game plan, somebody in my accountability group can say, just out of the blue, Cortez, how many people you talk to this hour? Man, I didn't talk to none. Right? So when you have that in the back of your mind that somebody can call BS on your activity, I'm the type of person that I can feed off of that. I can feed off that. I remember as a youngster going to the gym to work out or going to the basketball court to play and get shots up. I always pretended that a coach was watching me, and that little imagination kept me going hard as I was practicing and training to become a better ball player. Well, if you're in an accountability group and you have 2 or 3 people a day coming at you saying, "Man, what did you accomplish today?" and you know that at any given moment that could happen, that kind of creates a sense of urgency to make sure that you're getting some things done, especially early. Because if somebody hit me at 10 o'clock and say, man, what did you do? Man, I talked to 12 people today. Got one sign up. Does that make sense? So we have to put ourselves in position to where we can be held accountable one to another, and join and start forming accountability groups. Monica says, yes, willing to be accountable. Yes, good deal. So create your accountability team and start checking up on each other, man, encouraging each other, lifting one another up, but also calling out one another's BS. Don't be afraid to call out one another's BS. Right? It does no good to be in an accountability group where people are scared to hold you accountable. So make sure that you put yourselves in the position to be held accountable, and so that you can hold those people in your group accountable as well. So 7 keys to keeping your resolution. Number 1, it starts with clarity, man. Be crystal clear about the things you want to accomplish for 2018. Be crystal clear. As you're setting up your resolutions for 2018, make sure you create in those resolutions the ability to track and chart your progress along the way. You can't measure what you don't track. How will you know you're even close to hitting your mark if you're not tracking your success along the way? Number 3, you're going to need the 5 P's to have success in hitting your goal. I guarantee you some things are going to get in your way, and you're going to have to persist through those things. I guarantee you, you're going to get knocked down. What is perseverance? It's how you respond after getting knocked on your butt. How do you respond after a small defeat? How do you bounce back? You're going to have some perseverance. You're going to have to be patient as you're learning new things, as you're growing, as you're going through the growing pains. Allow yourself to be patient, man. Your success is not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a day, but it does happen daily. Your daily activity is what makes you successful. Number 4, give yourself permission to fail. Now, does that mean you go out and you look for failure? No. But how do you respond after you fail? It's okay. Shake off the dust and keep it moving. And then number 5, stop flipping procrastinating, right? And I'm talking to myself here, Cortez. Get the stuff done on that freaking board and get it out of the way so you can put something else on the board so you can keep on track of getting the things done that you say you want to get done. So those are the 5 P's. Number 4, go public with your resolution. A lot of people are setting weight loss goals, but they don't want to tell anybody that they're trying to lose weight. Because if they fail, then nobody knew they were trying in the first place. That's a weak way to go. Go public with your dreams. I know sometimes you don't want to go public because people are going to shoot you down and you got dream snatchers, dream stealers out there and all of that stuff, man. But go public with your resolution. Number 5, you might have to put it on your calendar, man. Create a daily checklist. And this is another thing that I resolved to do in 2018. I'm going to sit down with my family at least 15 minutes a night before I go to bed. And we're all going to map out what we're going to do the following day. Because it's been times where kids got games, they got practice, I forget, I'm scheduling stuff and all that. So we have to get on one accord as a family, right? So I'm going to have them help me build out my day planner and my to-do list for the next day. Very, very good way to be more productive. And in the coming weeks, we're going to talk about some things that you could do from a time management perspective. But very, very, very key is setting up a to-do list every day. So at the end of the day, you review what you said you was going to do this day. How much stuff did you get checked off the list? And then that stuff rolls onto tomorrow's list, and then you add to it the other things that you want to get accomplished, right? So you might have to put your actionable steps on a calendar. Number 6, make sure that you have a step-by-step written game plan on how you're going to accomplish right? Your resolution. Write the stuff down. How are you going to accomplish? What are you going to do day by day, week by week? And then set up some benchmarks, right? So by the end of January, I should be here based on my overall goal and my daily action steps for the first 30 days. By the end of February, I should be here, right? Create all of this stuff into your resolution so you're tracking this stuff along the way. Number 8, join some sort of accountability group or team of people who are going to hold you accountable and make sure you're doing what it is you say you're going to do. And allow them permission to call you on your BS. Now, this doesn't mean we beat each other down. This is a hey, come on, Queen. You said that you were going to have this done by this date, and you're not even close. How can I help you? What do you need help with? Right? That's what it requires, man. A good friend does that. And if you're going to have success with your resolutions for 2018, you're going to follow these steps. There's probably a few more things that we could have added to this list, but definitely, if you want to see another list, I want you to go to my website, tv.financialhealthmentor.com. I've got a link to a Forbes article that I was checking out as I was preparing some of this content. So you want to check that out. Do me a huge favor. If you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Give me a like, a thumbs up on this particular show. And this is the platform moving forward for 2018 until I get my own servers, until I get my own streaming capabilities. And ultimately, I want to stream this directly to my own site, my own content. I just don't want to rely on a third party like I relied on Facebook. And they decided to shut me down for whatever reason. And I don't want to piss YouTube off and they decided to shut me down. So ultimately, the goal is to build my own platform. But in the meantime, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit the like, and continue to comment your questions. I go through these questions and I will respond if you guys have any questions. You guys know tomorrow we're going to be talking about. This is a book I just picked up from my mom got it for me for Christmas, Dr. Miles Monroe. The principles and power of vision to help you create clarity in your resolutions for 2018. So that's tomorrow's show. So you want to come hang out with your boy for that. If you have not already shared the stream, please hit the share button. Put it on Instagram. Put it on Twitter. Put it on LinkedIn, wherever you like to put stuff. Put it on Facebook. And I would appreciate that greatly. We got to rebuild the show there's a lot of people who were following the show on Facebook, and since we're no longer streaming over there, then we got to get those folks over here to YouTube. So that's it for today's show, man. I'm your man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur. Until I talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it, but more importantly, you deserve it, each and every one of you. Peace out.